Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Marvin Knows Finances show. Today is one of my shorter podcasts. We're doing our financial markets week in review for August 19th, 2022. So just as a quick introduction, if you don't know me, I am Marvin Thompson, a certified financial planner with Great River Investments in Burlington, Iowa. I'm also the president and owner of Great River Investments. Thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to listen in. And for all you listeners on Google and Spotify, don't forget to click that subscribe button. It's very important to me. I get those membership numbers up. And if you prefer to see my smiling face, check out my YouTube page, Marvin Knows Finances, and click subscribe there as well. So we started these weekly podcasts last week. And as I mentioned last week, we were going to have a lot of financial data released this week that we felt was pretty important. Tuesday, we had housing reports, housing starts reported. Wednesday, we had retail sales earnings, and Thursday, we had jobless claims reported. So when all was said and done, stocks had given back a portion of the previous week's strong gains. I can't talk this morning. So for the week, the Dow closed down 0.2%, the NASDAQ closed down 2.6%, and the S&P 500, it closed down about 1.2%. So never good to see losses, but it's really not surprising given the fact that we've had such a strong run up over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So let's dive into the last week's data reports a little bit more detail, okay? Last week's data reports brought a host of insight kind of into the mindset of the consumer. As expected, we figured housing market data was going to show a deceleration. With interest rates as high as they are, housing prices kind of getting out of hands, we expected that residential starts and permits were going to be down, and they were. Home builder sentiment also fell, and mortgage applications also fell to their lowest level since November of 2020. On the sales report side, which is basically retail sales excluding auto and gas sales, those actually rose by 0.7%. So this was kind of a good thing, because the bottom line is what this tells us is that with all the uncertainty, consumers are still willing to spend money on the other discretionary spending as opposed to reducing their spending habits, which, we feel that's a good thing. Now, we still do not have a clear path forward on what the Fed's plans are regarding inflation and interest rate hikes. We do not believe any data we have seen over the last 2 weeks will cause them to slow down their rate hikes. Last week, St. Louis Fed President James Bullard questioned whether inflation has really peaked or not, and he stated that he would likely vote in favor of another 75 basis point increase in the Fed funds target rate at the next meeting, which is in September. Now, there is still plenty of data that will be released in the next few weeks that may give us a clearer picture. But as of now, I would kind of say that the future is still a little hazy, and we'll be looking for signs of some clarity coming up. Upcoming week of economic data is going to provide us additional information on personal income and consumption, as well as inflation data. So when we do next week's market summary, hopefully we'll be able to give you some information on that as well. So as I wrap up this very quick podcast this morning, I need to read off some disclosures to make my compliance department happy and keep me in line with the rules. Marvin Thompson is an investment advisor representative and a registered representative with Brokers Financial member SIPC. Opinions expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of Brokers Financial. The topics discussed and opinions given are not intended to address the specific needs of any listener. Great River Investments LLC does not offer legal or tax advice. Listeners are encouraged to discuss their financial needs with the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstances. This material represents an assessment of the market economic environment at a specific point in time and is not intended to be a forecast of future events or guarantee of future results. Forward-looking statements are subject to certain risks and uncertainties. Actual results, performance, or achievements may differ materially from those expressed or implied. Information is based on data gathered from what we believe are reliable sources. It is not guaranteed as to accuracy, does not purport to be complete, and is not intended to be used as a primary basis for your investment decisions. It should also not be construed as advice, meeting the particular investment needs of any investor. Keep in mind, past performance does not guarantee future results. Indices are unmanaged and investors cannot invest directly in an index. Unless otherwise noted, performance of indices does not account for any fees, commissions, or other expenses that would be incurred. Returns do not include reinvested dividends. The Standard & Poor's 500, also known as the S&P 500, is an unmanaged group of securities considered to be representative of the stock market in general. It is a market value weighted index with each stock's weight in the index proportionate to its market value. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is a price-weighted average of 30 actively traded blue chip stocks, primarily industrials, but includes financials and other service-oriented companies. The components, which change from time to time, represent between 15 and 20% of the market value of the New York Stock Exchange. The NASDAQ Composite is a market capitalization weighted index of the more than 3,000 common equities listed on the NASDAQ Stock Exchange. The types of securities in the index include American depository receipts, common stocks, real estate investment trust, and tracking stocks. This index includes all NASDAQ listed stocks that are not derivative, preferred shares, funds, exchange traded funds, or debentures. So folks, once again, a very quick podcast this week, just to kind of give you an idea of what happened with the week ending on August 19th, 2022. We want to hear from you. If you got any questions or specific needs that you need addressed, please call me at my office at 319-576-2264. You can also visit me on my website at www.greatriverinvestments.com. Go to the Contact Us section of the site, fill out your information, and I or a member of my team will be in touch with you very soon. I hope you all have a great next week. We'll be uploading more podcasts to our YouTube channel and our Spotify and our Google Podcast accounts. So please continue to tune in. Thank you very much and have a good day.